Black Lives Matter shocked everyone by coming out with a fiery tweet about how Kamala Harris should not be the nominee. Really quick though, before I show you that tweet, check out what Kamala Harris said about BLM not long ago.
They're not going to stop, and this is a movement, I'm telling you. They're not going to stop, and everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And everyone should take note of that on both levels, that they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should not.
So clearly, Kamala Harris is a big fan of BLM, and it goes without saying that that is one of many, many videos where she says something over and over and over again without saying anything. That's one video. I wasn't looking for that video for an example of how she sucks at speaking, but I just wanted to see, her opinion on BLM. But of course, you can't even look up a video of Kamala Harris without seeing her say absolutely nothing. And I think that's going to be, as I'll talk about a little bit later, that's going to be the theme of her candidacy from now until November. And I think more people are going to sour when they see what a bad communicator is. But Kamala is a big fan of BLM. This is what BLM, without further ado, this is what BLM said about Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party. So they came out on X. They said this. Timeline of events. You can see it right here. Sunday, Joe Biden drops out. Kamala Harris announces campaign with Biden endorsement. Kamala Harris said she's going to work hard to earn the nomination. Kamala Harris makes calls to party delegates. Monday now. Kamala Harris continues making calls to party delegates. Kamala Harris makes 2 public speeches. AP announces Kamala Harris has secured enough delegates to be the Democratic nominee. Again, that is one day after Joe Biden steps down. And then they continue by saying Kamala Harris releases this statement. They kind of put that statement on X. I'm not going to show it here because it's basically just her accepting the nomination. But this is the important part that BLM said. And you can see it right here. They said a 24-hour process of talking to party bosses is not democratic, nor is it a process Democrats should be proud of. We do not live in a dictatorship. Delegates are not oligarchs. Installing Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee and an unknown vice president without any public voting process would make the modern Democrat Party a party of hypocrites. Reminder really quick before I finish this. This is BLM. This is the most progressive, probably the most progressive group in America. They finished off by saying, we call on the DNC to create a process that allows for public participation in the nomination process, not just a nomination by party delegates. You have to understand, no one, not a single primary voter voted for Kamala Harris. Why? Because Democrats refused, the Democrat Party refused to have a primary. And so if you're a Democrat, just imagine for a second that you're a Democrat. You vote for Biden, and so did all your friends who are Democrats, and you kind of had to, right, because there's no primary. So effectively, you voted for Biden. Then the party elites last minute decide to switch him out for someone that you never voted for, never once. And again, a lot of Democrats were calling for a primary. They were saying if Biden is such a powerful, good leader, then surely he'll win in a primary. He'll do great. And by the way, he probably would have in a primary. But at least you could point to 20%, 30% people voted for Kamala. 0% voted for Kamala because they didn't hold a primary for her. I would feel upset as a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I'm sure a lot of you watching aren't Democrat. If you are a Democrat, thank you for watching. Not because I want Biden as my nominee anymore. That's not why I would be upset. But people have accurately pointed out that there was nothing democratic about this process. That's like the one thing that BLM and I agree on. Did not imagine I would say that. But yeah, they're right. There was nothing democratic about this process. And again, you can come out and say, there's been a lot of people who have said, oh, but the convention, the delegates get to decide. It is illegal by the time that they have their delegation. In like at least 1/3 of the states, it is illegal to file for candidacy at that point. And so no, there's no process, by the way, there's just no process at that point to have a new nominee. So yeah, technically at the convention, could something change? It's not going to happen. But no, there's nothing democratic about it because it is illegal at that point to put up anyone else. And that's why they put their convention so late. If they really wanted an open convention, they would have done it in March and April, but they never did. And they knew Joe Biden was dead. They always knew that. Kamala Harris knew that, and so did the elites. Kamala Harris has specifically positioned herself. If there's one thing that she's good at, it is positioning herself in a place where she can fail upwards. That is, I'll say that for her. She's done that very well. And so this mild excitement, I have to point this out, this mild excitement that you're seeing for Kamala Harris right now, which you're seeing some excitement. It's not actually excitement for her. What it is this excitement that Biden is no longer the Democrat nominee after his awful debate performance. I personally don't believe that the plan was to take Biden out until the debate. I think once that happened, elites in the Democrat Party, they solidified that they were already waning a little bit for sure, but they solidified in their minds, no, we are not going with Biden. And so, again, if I had to predict, I think we're going to see a closing of the polls in the next few weeks between Kamala and Trump because we're going to be in the honeymoon phase of Kamala Harris. But the thing is after seeing her on TV more and more and forgetting about their excitement from not having Biden, they have to deal with the fact that it's not just not having Biden, it is having Kamala. And I think when that happens for a lot of independents, that enthusiasm is going to absolutely be curbed super quick. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.